What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lasting Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Digital Relaxation, aka Rome, and we are back again for another episode. And we are on episode 87, and I'm only bringing that up to make it sound major because it is. Um, I mentioned this before, and I'm kind of set on it. That the 100th episode of this podcast would most likely be my last episode on this podcast. So we are getting close to that. But I will touch on that in a little bit later. But first, as always, if you guys like what you hear, what you're going to hear, please be sure to share this podcast, rate it, all of that good stuff, and let's get into it. And as always, let's start with what I've been up to. Um, so going off with something late with the gaming section, cause I haven't really been playing games like that, man. So here's my relationship with gaming right now. I think I've grown past. I don't want to sound like I'm too old for this, but I think I've grown past the whole competitive gaming. So unfortunately, that's what a lot of people who I normally play games with are still doing. So we don't really play games like that anymore. It's like once in a while I'll probably hop on with them because I don't. It might be a whole nother video that might go onto my YouTube channel that I might talk about. It's a idea that I probably wanted to do for a while, and I'm sure other people have done it too, but just want to get my views on it. But it's also that, and also what I've talked about several times on this podcast about why I do the things I do and like who I do it for. So it's like finding more joy in just playing the games that I enjoyed playing by myself before there was like online gaming. Like these games did hold me down for a long time. Like I didn't sit there and had to worry about, I gotta worry about my friends hopping online so this game could be fun. Like, nah, these games were just generally just fun, and I want to find that joy in just playing these forms of media that was here to just give you a form of escape, let you get immersed into another world, learn a new story, and all of that. So, and also being that it's October. So, aka spooky season. For like the 500th time, I played Evil Within. I just actually beat it last night of me recording this. Because I had it, Epic's game dropped it for free, like a while back. I got the second one. I got the first one originally on my Xbox One. And I played the hell out of that game. I believe I 100%ed that game before they did the old, we're gonna drop the DLC and we're gonna add DLC achievements. So we're just gonna negate your 100%. Did that. Then Evil Within 2 came out. I got that one on PC, which I did. I did a live stream and I did no, I think I only did. No, yeah, I did a live stream and I did a walkthrough of that on my channel. Well, I deleted that walkthrough now, but the live stream walkthrough should still be on my Twitch. But yeah, so I wanted to play it, on PC, beat it on PC, and it's one of my favorite. I don't really like. I say this a lot of times. I don't want to say I don't like the horror genre. Me and horror is really mixed. Like, for me to, like, it has to be some form of like fate for me to get into a certain form of horror media. Like I don't just sit there and just try to jump into every single horror because horror don't really do it for me. Like the whole trying to jump scare you and loud noises and a weird face popping up in your screen, like don't that's not entertaining to me. Like I want a story. I want to feel creeped out without having to like you're trying to just throw the monster in my face. Like I don't know, it's just subtle creepiness that gets me more than the in your face creepiness. So there's not a lot that really does that for me. And then even the ones that like I took a chance on, like Saw, I don't consider it horror for me personally. It's my favorite horror movie franchise, and that's only because, like I said, once you get into actually watching it, you learn that it's really not horror. It's just gore. But the story, like I like how the story was told. I like how a lot of horror media stories are told through games, movies. Like, one example being Silent Hill. Like the fact that speaking of Silent Hill, the remake the remake is currently out for the pre-order people. You get the early access, but I believe it comes out Friday. But Silent Hill, I never played a single Silent Hill game in my life, but I could probably tell you a lot about the lore because I've been so infatuated with it that like I've just been watching tons of videos on learning what this story is. Like if there's a good story, and especially if it's a good game, like even within that, like the survival horror aspect of it, but like the upgrading your loadout and getting better, crafting things, like I like that feeling of like, you started off as like this helpless dude with just this regular pistol, and then by the end of the game you got a crossbow that shoots explosive arrows and a shotgun and all this other stuff. So even within, I love the story. I love the game. My only complaint it's not even a complaint now, because Xbox sadly shut down the studio that made Evil Within, Tangle Works, which is annoying because they also made a very great game to a lot of people, Hi-Fi Rush. So you think amongst other games, like they have 3 solid games that's like, they're great games, and they just shut the studio down. So hopes for a sequel is pretty much in the wind now. But also my biggest issue with it was the first game had a kind of a plot twist cliffhanger, but the sequel never touched on it. And I wanted to know if they would ever touch on it again, and now we probably will never know now. So that's that. But that's mainly it. I'm going to play the next game. I'm going to play again is Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs 2 is easily. I'll probably have to think about it on the list, but going through like the modern era is easily in my top 5, along with Cyberpunk, of games that's like great games, probably of all times. So this will be my 3rd time playing this game now. The first time I played it was when I got on Xbox. I didn't appreciate it because I played the first Watch Dogs, and I don't know, it just felt all over the place to me. I didn't get immersed into it as I should have, and I just ran through it. The second time I played it, I enjoyed it and I loved it. And this time, it was either I played this or I was going to replay the Tomb Raider trilogy, the reboot trilogy, and I landed on this. So I'm gonna play this game. Like I said, I'm just running through all these older games that I enjoyed. Cause a lot of newer games, not either interested in them, or sadly, just recently we found out that Assassin's Creed got delayed to February, Valentine's Day. It was supposed to come out November, if I'm not mistaken. So, or was it this month? This month of November. But yeah, so the game I was looking forward to is no longer coming. So I'm just playing all my older games, and I don't know if I'm gonna get Black Ops 6. Maybe. Like if I get it, it'll mainly be for the campaign, and if that's the case, I'd rather just watch it. But I kind of want to play it. But I don't know, mixed feelings. I mean, it is gonna be on the Game Pass. It's just that I don't have the Game Pass because I'm mostly on my PC. But we'll see. Sparking Zero's coming out. I mean, I said this the day like it got announced that you don't let nostalgia blind you on this game. Like, yes, we all love this game. It was a great part of our childhood, but let's keep it real. That game was very unbalanced. And we already know once you take that unbalanced nature to the online realm, those people who are gonna find metas and ways to exploit the game instead of just playing the game for fun, just because they're just gonna ruin it. That's why I don't really like doing fighter games online that much. Just it doesn't feel like people are just like trying to play just to have fun and just outdo each other. It's like they just want to like do the most cheesing thing to win. But that's mostly it for gaming. Going into the anime manga section, mostly manga because I don't really watch anime like that no more. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm trying. I need to motivate myself. I want to watch a lot of stuff. That's my problem. I want to watch this. I want to watch that. And yeah. But Blood on the Tracks manga. I've been reading this manga for about a year now. I've been waiting for the last volume to be released. Last month it was finally released, so I bought the last 2 volumes and finally was able to sit down and finish the whole thing. So this mangaka author, however you want to say it, I'm very interested in their work. Of course, one of my favorite mangas from them is The Flowers of Evil, which is probably one of my favorite mangas in general. I read a lot of their work. I read The Flowers of Evil. I read Welcome Back Alice. Just finished Blood on the Tracks, and I feel like there was another one that I read of theirs. I'm not sure. I'm blanking, but I want to read more of this stuff. He mostly talks on most of his stories deal with coming of age stories, but he tells them from different point of views and whatnot. So Flowers of Evil was taught from the point of view of dealing with committing a childhood act, a horrible act that when you're a kid you think it's the end of the world if someone finds out, and it's one of those things that is something that could have been easily rectified, but everyone around you made it even bigger than it was, so that one little harmless thing turned into nah, this is serious, everyone should be on alert. So now you're damn, I can't even own up to it. So it was mostly dealing with atoning for your sins, and also dealing with accepting your true self and understanding why you do the things you do in the first place. Why are you trying to act a certain way for a certain person instead of just be who you really are deep down inside. Don't need to hide who you are type thing. Which going into Welcome Home Alice or Welcome Back Alice kind of deals with that on a kind of deals with the self acceptance, but on a deeper level with sexuality and gender identity. Deals with these three classmates who are it's basically a love triangle where we have the main, well, they all main, but the main boy that we follow has this little childhood crush on this one girl, but the girl has a crush on his best friend, but the best friend has a crush on the main dude. But being that they're both males, it was like his friend realized like this is not something that might not be possible because of who we are. So he moved away, and basically as he got older, he got into not so much being a transgender, but cross-dressing, and instead of calling himself Alice. So, but it was like, it's hard to explain. Like, he wants to remove the concept of gender and sexuality, like who we supposed to be with because of who we born as. Like, it's one of those stories. So it's one of those, like, the boy's trying to deal with, like, his friend coming back to his life, but looking like a girl, and he's not sure if he's attracted to her or him or not. But at the same time, he's also has his crush, so it's like, it's a weird story. And he's just like going through a whole mental breakdown of like what's true anymore for him. And then we got Blood on the Tracks, which deals with a more darker coming of age story. It deals with a trauma of a son and his mother, of how the mother basically has a hold on this boy's life, like on such a strong way that he's willing to basically alter his memories to defend his mother for the sake that he wants her to love him. Like, he's willing to do anything so that his mother can love him, as much as like he's afraid of her, and like he knows that he's disturbed by her, but he knows that it's like if he loses her, he feels like he loses everything. So it's just one of that, and then it just goes into a whole spiral from there on between them two. But yeah, Blood on the Tracks. I'm also I'm still reading Akira. I finally got the second book of Akira. I will say this. I've heard this, and it's the reason why I'm reading it. Because if you ever watched the movie Akira, which is like a classic anime movie, the movie barely touches what's going on in the manga, bro. Like, and mind you, these books is kind of big. They big, but I feel like they're not thick. Like, there's not a lot of pages. They just big for some reason. I don't know why they're big. But I'm already in the second book, and for the most part, a lot of the stuff that's in the movie is nowhere near like in this manga. Like, it expands on so much in the manga. So I definitely recommend reading this. Especially like you just into like the whole cyberpunk Neo Tokyo vibes, the sci-fi elements, people developing powers and whatnot. It's a trippy ride, but it's very, very more fleshed out in the manga compared to that movie. So definitely give it a chance. I wanna finish reading it, and then I wanna watch the movie again just to compare like how much was really missing. But that's where I'm at right now. Get a swig of that water though. But the next thing, of course, is life. So I mentioned YouTube a little bit earlier. So last episode, I told you guys that I was coming back to my YouTube channel, and I was dropping a video supposedly by the end of September. Spoiler alerts, that didn't happen, but I did drop the video. And that video blew up. I mean, it's one of those in between feelings. Like I knew that it would blow up, but not as fast as it did. Cause most of my videos have a slow burn. Like I have videos that's like in the 800 views, 700 views, but they took time to get there. This video within 2 days went to 3,000 views. And my sub count it jumped. So I'm dealing with that right now. But if you want to check out the video, of course, again, my channel is Digital Relaxation. The video is basically talking about the storyline of Call of Duty Zombies, how it changed during each game, but most so how it changed during when the leads got shifted over between the different leads on zombies. But and funny enough, cause I have so much videos that I want to do for so long. So this is one of those videos I wanted to do for so long, and it's crazy that after all this time, like no one really touched on this topic. So I could see why it blew up, because it's a spot that I've been seeing, like no one's not talking about this. So I had to, it's capitalizing on the open space. But it was nice to see that. So I'm just gonna try to keep this train running, I guess. Try to do more videos. But I am gonna have to I'm gonna make it like a video to explain to people who are now my new subscribers, like I'm not a one trick pony. I don't want to be that guy. Like I'm not gonna be doing Call of Duty. Like I just talk about like I said, I have videos that's been in my mental archive for years now. It's just having the motivation and the space to do it. So y'all just gonna have to just accept what's coming, or y'all can take your subscription back. Yeah, I'll be all right. But yeah. So before this is another thing of what I've been up to, but I'm gonna make it a subtopic. So before we get into the main topic, the next thing I've been doing is where I've been reading my mangas at and whatnot. Finding so how do I want to open this? All right, so I don't know where I think I randomly just seen this video, probably on TikTok or something. I've seen this clip about the concept of finding your third place. And when I was watching it, they basically explained how everybody should have a third place, because you already know the first place is either your home and the second place is your job. Those are the places you are always going to be. If you're not going to be at one spot, you're going to be in the next spot. But you should have a third place so you won't feel like this is just a weird cycle. Like you got to have a place that's for you, like that place where you can get away from that back and forth cycle of just going to your first and second place. So I mentioned my friend, when I showed her that, I was she I guess the gym would be my third place, because if she's not working, she's not at home, she go to the gym. So I think that's what I need to figure out myself. So I've been trying to figure out where my third place is, and I stumble upon this area in the park, but it's like a lake view. So I just go there and I just read my manga there and just chill out there, try to not be stuck in the house. So I mostly do it on my days off. So instead when I'm normally off, I'll just be sitting in my house, watching YouTube all day. So instead of just sitting home waiting for the next days to roll over and I'm going right back to work. Let me just get out my house and go do something and enjoy the things I do. So I've been building up on that, and I think it's a good it's a good thing to have a third place. So, for people out there who may be struggling with the situation of, they feel like they just, especially when I hear people like, when they at work and they're like, I feel like I was just here and I'm back here because, you don't really go nowhere else. Like, yeah, like, you just sit at home and you just waiting for the day to roll over to go right back to work again, and then you come right back home and it's over. So it feels like everything blurs into just one long day. Like you just feel like you just been working for one day. So that's why you feel like you just tired, unmotivated, no energy to do anything. You just feel like you just been doing this one thing all this time. So you break the cycle and just leave, go somewhere, find a new spot, just sit. Disconnect yourself from your phone, disconnect yourself from anything, just sit somewhere, get a book or wherever, go to the gym, go somewhere and get a new routine and just find a place to give you that peace of mind, reset yourself, and break away from the norm of, well, not even the norm, but like the loop of just going to work and going home, just going to work and going home. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been up to. So with that being said, the main topic of this episode is about prioritizing your life. And I don't want to make it preachy about about what's going on in the world or whatever. It's more like a deeper internal thing with you. And I always had this situation, especially I feel like I started having that thought coming into my head while I was still in college, because I was listening to Blue, Below the Heaven. I was listening to Blue. I was listening to Below the Heaven, but the song is not on Below the Heaven. But one of the songs, he says, I'm trying to prioritize life in case I do not live long. Like, like simple things like that. Like, because we're all not promised. As much as we like to believe we gonna live long, and hopefully we live long, God willing we live long, it's not promised, it's not guaranteed. What we can do is the best we can to keep our health right, to make sure that that won't be the deciding factor in our us losing our lives. But also, again, it also goes into finding your third place. Like, prioritize things that's important to you, and that could also, it doesn't have to be a deeper meaning. This could be on a simple level. My example here is one of my I don't know if I want to call it a flaw, but one of my things with me is, because I'm such a creative mind, I have a million ideas of things I want to do and things I want to try. Like I said, like these videos on my YouTube, like I had the concept of doing these videos like years ago. It's just, before I wasn't living in the right space to do the things I do. I didn't have the equipment to do the things I want to do. It was all timing, and then also just not being motivated to do it. I want to do so much, and I feel like I don't have the time to do it all. So trying to figure out what to prioritize so I don't overload and I end up just not doing nothing. So I'm trying to deal with prioritizing my goals and my hobbies and the things I like to do, so I won't be all over the place with it. So I'm taking it one step at a time. Like, I just did my YouTube video. All right, so now I can focus on the next thing. I just dropped the video for the Splits and Sake channel for the Manga Monday. All right, I can do that. Now here I am doing my podcast, and I do that, and I can move on to the next thing. And I just take things one step at a time. Take life one day at a time. You have full control of this day right now. You can plan for the next day, but as you are in this moment right now, this is your moment to do what you want to do, what you can do, and what what you're able to do, what's possible for you. Like, you want to go somewhere, just go somewhere. You want to, hey, let me just go see a movie right now. Go see a movie. You want to just go sit somewhere at a park. Go sit somewhere at a park. Go do something. Oh, I want to, go to the gym. Like, maybe you haven't, maybe it's time I start working on my health. Let me just go to the gym. Like, I think, and I'm not on that level, but I think the concept of not letting things hold you back. We can't let things hold us back. Can't let fear hold us back. We gotta bank on ourselves, invest in ourselves, because we all are blessed with our individuality. We all can do something. We can all bring something to this world that some people can't. Like I said, not to be on some real race thing or whatever, but if you know about the Call of Duty community, especially the zombies community on YouTube, that's mostly dominated by white folks. And no disrespect to them, but it's just they dominate that market. Because not a lot of black folks really sit there and try to dive into lore of games, and if they do, they keep it on the hush like I do. Like, I've been a passive viewer of this franchise for over 10 years, like just seeing this story and seeing how it's been pieced together and enjoying it. But then I've been noticing, like, there's a shift that happened here, but no one ever talked about the shift. People just accepted the shift and just never looked back. And I feel like we needed to talk about it. And the fact that it took me to kind of put that there, to sprinkle it there, and hopefully, it spreads to the right person, and maybe someone else can talk about it, and so on and so forth. But you don't know what you can do in this world. You don't know what impact you can do. It might seem small to you, but it could be big to the person who needed to see that or who needed to hear that. Just do what you can, do your best, leave your marker. If you want to believe in leaving your legacy, do that too. It doesn't have to be nothing grand. I mentioned this in my last episode. It's not like not everyone is going to be the biggest person in the world, but you can help one person. That's more like the reason why I do this podcast. Like, the one person who hears this episode or hear this podcast who needs to hear it, that's why I say share this podcast with the person. If you if you found my podcast and you enjoy listening to it, but maybe this episode is not for you, but you think this episode is gonna be for someone, share it with that person. Like, don't gatekeep. Don't hide information. Don't just he's this man just rambling on this podcast. Like, it don't mean nothing to me. But like, there might be someone who's struggling with trying to prioritize their life. Someone struggling with trying to find a way to break the cycle of their life. I just want to let people know that it's a thing that a lot of people go through, and I'm here to talk about it. I can't provide the solution. All I can do is tell you, possibilities of how I go through things, and you pick how you want to go through it and see what works for you. That's what life is about, just taking chances, seeing what works. You learn from your mistakes, you get better. That's all it is. You get better, you grow from your experience to become a better person from the day you were previously. And that's it. We just keep growing. But yeah, so prioritizing life. Like I said, I don't want to talk on a deeper level, because mostly this is not, for me personally, this is not a deeper thing. But going into a deeper level, for people who feel like they are working like, a dead end job or whatever. They feel like they're not doing what they should be doing. Maybe it's time. It's time you gotta invest in yourself. Maybe it's time you take the chance on yourself. You gotta take the plunge. Only you can believe in you before someone else can believe in you. You gotta believe in yourself first, man. You gotta see, visualize. Like people say, you gotta visualize. You gotta manifest it. You gotta see yourself doing these things. Just go there and do it. There's a lot of things I didn't think I'll be capable of doing myself because of how not so much of how my personality is, but also how people kind of place like a view of myself onto me, and I kind of believe it. Like, like a lot of people see me like, oh, he's real quiet or whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I am quiet, knowing damn well I talk a lot. Like, you get to know me, I talk a lot. I'm one of those people that is, I can't shut up once I start talking. But I let people like place these markers and these titles on me, and I believe them type things, so I just fall into it. So I never see myself doing a podcast. I have to sit here and talk to myself on the mic. Like, what? Not even when I had guests. The guests are people who I didn't know. People who I know, I like, hey, on Facebook, I'm like, yo, I need a guest. Anyone want to be here? Like, people I never met, but we had some good conversations. You gotta just take the chance. Do things. You never know where it can lead you. You never know, because you don't want to be living life with regrets. That's the one thing you don't want to do, man. You wanna leave this place feeling fulfilled. But that's mostly it. So yeah, as I said, we are getting closer to the end. And I'm not, as I said, I want to address this. It's not like I'm leaving to, I give up on doing this podcast thing. It's more so, well, one, because, you notice when I go on my hiatus or whatnot, because I deal with things too. I'm not no guru. I'm not no specialist. I'm not no therapist. I don't have all the answers. I'm just a dude talking on the mic who go through things, and I just kind of bring it to you guys and how I dealt with it, and maybe you can figure out a way to deal with things if you go through something similar. But also, there's only so much I can talk about. Like, I haven't lived long enough to constantly talk about everything regarding mental health, self-love, self-care. I mean, some of this stuff is ingrained in us. Like, some of the stuff we know. Like, sometimes it takes hearing that one voice that can tell you that you are, you are worth it. You are more than what you think you are. So, like, gotta believe in yourself. And I can feel like I can be that. I can only be that voice for so long. And I think 100 episodes is good enough. Like, I try not to, and it sucks, and I apologize. I try not to date my podcast, but of course I do the what I've been up to segment, which kind of dates it. But the main topic of what I talk about is something that you can hear anytime. Like, these topics are crucial. I want them to be timeless. So no matter what, like, 2 years from now, if you want to hear about prioritizing like your life, you can come to this episode. Don't know, but yeah. And also, like, and also for me, prioritizing the things I want to do. I feel like I've given enough on this podcast where I can bow out gracefully and focus on the next thing, focus on my other podcasts that I'm doing, focus on my other ventures I'm going to be doing and I want to do. I think I've given enough here. So I'm going to try and see if I can get guests going forward. Probably not going to be every episode, obviously, but, try to get guests going forward, because, this is going to be it. So hopefully we get some guests in here, we get some good conversations going. Whoever want to come up here and talk about whatever that's on your mind, whatever you've been going through, see what we can go through and see what we can get out of it. But that's about it, man. So yeah, as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share this, again, rate it, all of that good stuff. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and yeah, peace. And also, side note, for the Splits and Sake people, if you hearing this or not, and people who don't know about the Splits and Sake channel, I'm going to merge my my mental health talks with the anime stuff. So that video most likely come out next week, but if you are interested in hearing me talk about stuff like that, mental health stuff, but also relating to anime and manga and whatnot on a more serious level, be on the lookout for that video. But yeah, peace.